So in every testimony, the goal of it is to show how the Lord works. The goal of it is to show how Jesus has been present, and like we mentioned in our gospel, the patient, seated refiner who works away, doing what's necessary, difficult as it may be, and painful as it may be, in order to form a heart or a soul into becoming a saint. So that's the work that the Lord is undergoing in me at the moment as well. When I look back, we're doing a bit of a dance routine with some of our young people at the moment. They like the dancing, and so they needed some suggestions for some music to dance along with. So I had a look over some of the things I used to listen to back in the day, because that was kind of my scene, and I'm kind of shocked myself actually that I used to listen to so much of that stuff. And then there were other things. Then I don't know if I should even mention their names. I don't want to promote them either. But music like Nirvana and that I used to listen to quite a bit of that. That's how I learned to play guitar actually. And when I hear it now, I go, jeepers! I just can't help but think it's so rough. It's so rough. It's so angry, and for me, it just completely takes away that kind of peace or serenity that my soul should have constantly. Not just I can have peace and serenity here in the church, but we're supposed to live a life with God. So when I was growing up, my parents practiced, thank God, so we went to Mass every weekend, and I would have served Mass. That's where I fell in love with a good proper gong in the cathedral in Thurles, because you had to give it a good rap, you had to give a good swing, and when you had slight tinnitus afterwards, you'd done a good job. I used to love it. So yeah, I remember that, and I remember the benediction. We used to go to benediction every now and again on a Sunday afternoon, and in the cathedral in Thurles is beautiful. So you have your turble there, and you could put in 3 or 4 coals, and it could just be pluming, absolutely bellowing incense. But because the cathedral was so big, it was just beautiful. There was this beautiful smell. Lights were low. Blessed Sacrament up there, and I couldn't really explain it. But I just think there was something special about this. And then even the Latin words, the Tantamerica, I had no idea what I was talking about. But there was something otherworldly about it, and that's kind of what the liturgy is supposed to do. Transport us to somewhere else, not just remind us of everything that's out there, but it's supposed to be different. This building is supposed to be different to every other building. What we do here liturgically is supposed to be different because it's supposed to be heavenly, and that's not heaven out there. So this is supposed to feel different in here. So I remember having this kind of desire maybe for something more. But I was young, and this was before my teenage years. So once the teenage years hit, I just fell in love with the world and everything in it. And when I went to secondary school, then I think my mom and dad might have got slightly worried about me towards 5th, 6th year, 1st year in college. While I still had a desire for God, I had a greater desire for the world. And you can't have both. But I tried. And when you're trying, though, you're kind of, you end up just feeling kind of torn. You end up feeling guilty for the things you shouldn't be doing, that you're doing anyway. So I wasn't really at peace with myself. I finished my Leaving Cert in 1997, and I decided I would go off to college and do electronic engineering because it was the thing to do at the time. There were loads of jobs, especially in Limerick. So I thought, this is great, sure, I'll go to college, get a job. The money was fantastic, and job done. So I went off to Limerick, and I absolutely hated it. To this day, it's my least favorite city, sorry. But I was so unhappy there. It wasn't me at all. I didn't feel at home in the course. It was kind of a work hard, play hard kind of ethic. So study until the wee hours of the morning, then drinking all day, and then study. It was just crazy life. Didn't like it at all. So I said, that's it. I can't. I know this isn't for me. This is not my place. So what am I supposed to do? So I sat down and took a little copybook, which I still have to this day, and I listed my options, kind of systematic as I am. What my options were and the pros and cons. So I thought, well, I could do mechanical engineering in Cork, UCC. I thought that'd be, good pros. I have some friends there. Cons, I can't think of any. Looks fine to me. Mechanical engineering, aeronautical engineering, all the various options and the pros and cons. And for the first time in my life, right at the end of my list, I wrote priesthood. Now, this was, as the Americans would say, a curveball. I did not see this one coming, all right? Priesthood. Okay, pros of being a priest. I honestly, I'm usually fairly imaginative. I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of anything at all. And then when it came to cons, I was using 4 or 5 pages. Like, it was just, you end up in some small little parish inheriting a debt of 200,000 for a parish hall, which only the bingo people use, wonderful and all as they are. Is this really what I'm called to do as a priest? You spend all of your day, well, with sick people and dead people. And it just really seems like a really miserable life, And then you're on your own in some parish, and that's it. You see, there's no family, no support, no brotherhood. No, I don't want priesthood. No, absolutely not. I know what I'll do. I'll become a religion teacher, because religion teachers are amazing. They get to do good stuff for God. They get to introduce people to God, and they can still have their life and their BMW M3 on a teacher salary, not a problem. And that's it. That was my plan. Okay, off to be a religion teacher. So off I went to Cork to study to be a religion teacher. And okay, while I was in Limerick, I met 2 very important people. One was a religious sister named Sister Veronica. She was from Slovakia. She was full of life, full of beans, full of joy, and had a very natural way of speaking about her faith. She was looking for a youth group to be part of while she was here in Ireland. And she joined our prayer group. We had a prayer group near Mitchellstown there, a place called Ballindangan. And we would meet every month, and she came along, and it was great. We used to go on pilgrimages every year. This prayer group was absolutely key to me staying somewhere near the right track and not going completely ballistic. Because I met other young people who were like-minded and wanted to pray, and they were relatively normal. They had the torn genes and that sort of thing. So, they were just normal kids, just like us, just like you. So it was just great to be part of that. Sister Veronica came, and then she would speak about her faith in such a natural way. She would say, "Oh, yes, I'm in Slovakia. Slovakia is very beautiful. In the winter, we have beautiful mountains, and we can go skiing. And isn't it great that God gives us skiing, that we can enjoy creation?" And I was just really struck by this kind of talk where, hang on, you spoke about skiing and God in the same sentence. Like, it wasn't her prayer or her faith wasn't something for the liturgy, but it was a lived thing out there too. Everything reminded her of God, and there's something kind of subtly inspirational about it. While in Limerick, at First University as well, I also got to know much better a girl who was part of the prayer group that I had been part of for a couple of years, and I fell in love with her. There you go. So we started going out. Grand. So there I was in UCC. And I moved in with a friend of mine who was a DJ, and my best friend from school. So we used to have dance music blaring all day, from when we got up at 5 to 9, before the first lecture at 9 o'clock, until about midnight or 1 in the morning, just all day, just thumping. That was the way I liked it. It made our house quite popular to guests and house parties. And it was great fun, but I recognize now that what I was really doing was running. I liked my life loud, so I didn't have to listen to the voice inside me. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to drown out the subtle voice of God calling me to more. So after about 2 years in UCC, we came back from a night out with my girlfriend, and she said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And then she asked the question which would change my life. She asked, "Are you thinking about becoming a priest?" Now, this was not what I expected to hear. And I knew the answer was going to change everything, because if I say, yes, I'm thinking about being a priest, then our relationship obviously can't go on. Why am I studying arts in UCC if I'm called to be a priest? And then if I'm called to be a priest, where do I go? Who do you talk to? What do you do with it? And if I say I'm not thinking about priesthood, am I telling the truth? I mean, am I? am I thinking about the priesthood or aren't I? So when she said that, it just cut through everything, cut through all the noise and the dance music and the distractions and the baggy pants and all the things and the spiky hair and the life that I had built around myself. It just cut through it all, and then I was just faced with this yes or no question. Are you thinking about priesthood? And I knew I was. So I said, I think I am, yeah. I think I am. So that was fairly miserable, if I'm honest. Ruined that Christmas. But it was the truth, and it was something I had to start living with and dealing with, something which we're all trying to learn here as well. How do you live with and deal with the truth of your life? The truth. Just might be lovely, it might be difficult, but it's the truth. So how do you deal with it? So this was the truth in my life. How do I deal with it? So I looked at different communities, and they were grand, but this didn't fit. They didn't fit. It wasn't for me. Then Sister Veronica, from a couple of years previously, contacted me and said, look, would you be interested in coming over to our annual retreat in Slovakia? And I said, sure, no problem, I'll come along. Yep. So I went along. And when I went in there, I saw all these young priests and sisters, joyful, reverent, prayerful, who seemed like they actually knew the Lord. Not just read about him or whatever, obeyed the laws, but they actually seemed like they knew him. And that was it. I looked around and I said, this is home. Now, I was 21 at the time, so things move a lot quicker. Well, it was 3 years I'd been looking for something, so it felt like an eternity at the time. So it felt like I'd been just wandering for so long, and now I'd finally landed in my community, the work of Jesus, the high priest. And that was it. I was home. So I spoke to Father Paul. I went home, and then I called him. I didn't want to make any rash decisions, so I gave him a call. And in my wonderful, typical Irish English, while talking to Father Paul, I said, Father Paul, would it be okay if I come out to ye? And he was dead silent on the far side. And he said, what? What means this? Come out to we? No, to ye, to you plural, to vous in French. I said, yes, of course, fantastic. Yes, so I had to learn to speak neutral English, not Tipperary English, in order to be understood. So that was it. I went out in 2000, I was 21, did 9 years of formation, and was ordained then in 2009 in St. Mary Majors, and worked in Mitchellstown for a couple of years, and now I'm here. So the Lord is still working on me. It's been a long journey. It's been a long road. I mean, 20 years since then, and there's still refining going on. There's still purifying going on. The Lord is still at work in me, and indeed in all of us. Why? Because He wants us to be saints. Why? Because He wants us to get to heaven. So there's no greater goal, but no greater reward. So we thank the good Lord for His patience with us, and we thank all of you at home for making Holy Family Mission possible, that the young people here can be given the time, and it does take time, to let the guard down, to take off the masks, and to stand there before the Lord as they are. And that might be uncomfortable, it might be difficult, but it's the truth. And it's then that the Lord can really work on our heart and begin to heal them and prepare them to be His disciples in the world. And you make that possible. So we are very, very indebted to you. So thank you very much. Please keep us in your prayers, and we assure you of ours, especially every Wednesday. God bless.